All right, we're here live for Social Suplex Live. Jeremy Donovan and Ben Shafer here. And there's only one thing that we can talk about here. That is NXT Takeover Respect.
Well, we could talk about a lot more, but we're going to talk about Respect.
Yeah, we could talk about how last night's Raw was the lowest Raw in like 17 years, but we're not gonna talk about that. We're gonna
Wait,
talk
Raw was
about
on last night?
yeah, this thing, Raw, their flagship program that decides to put Kane in the main event program and give Roman Reigns a live mic for 5 to 7 minutes, have the whole crowd chanting "We want Sasha" and not putting her in a match. Yeah, that show that happened last night.
God.
And Braun Strowman taking the funniest bump I ever seen in my life.
Are you talking about that Superman punch over the announcement desk?
Yes, yes. Go on my Twitter account if you guys are watching this. I have a GIF that WWE posted of Strowman taking that bump. I don't think they realized how hilarious that bump actually is.
God, that's oh my God.
Yeah, so let's
Talk about that.
let's talk about some good things. Let's talk about NXT Takeover Respect, which was live on the
Yes.
network last Wednesday. We had the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. They opened up the show. It was Joe and Finn taking on Dash Wilder and Scott Dawson. Great tag team match. I mentioned before how much I love how Dawson and Wilder work. And they picked apart a body part. It was Finn Balor's left knee. They worked that leg majority of the match. So to kind of question whether Joe or whether Finn would be able to hit the coup de grace, and he was able to hit it. They did the muscle buster coup de grace combo, but of course that would set the story up that Finn's knee will be hurt going into the second match of the night.
I have things I want to say. Like I understand why they put Finn and Joe together, and I understand the story they're trying to tell with that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't understand why they pushed that over established tag teams. Like this was a tag team classic, and you have mixed matches going in there. There's other ways they could tell that story.
Yeah, that was one thing that kind of bothered me too, was that that they put a lot of the regular tag teams, established tag teams, lost. And you had
like the Vaudevillains didn't even make it to the semifinals.
Yeah, the NXT Tag Champions were not on TakeOver. Enzo and Cass were not on TakeOver. So, I mean, it was good to see Dawson and Wilder and Jordan and Gable get a chance on TakeOver, a TakeOver show, to show what they can do. But at the same time, I don't get why they didn't want to do a NXT title match or do something different with Finn and Joe, instead of having them in the tag tournament. And also the same thing with Rhino and Corbin, which was the next match. Rhino and Corbin taking on Jason Jordan and Chad Gable. In my predictions, I knew I was predicting with my heart. I wanted so bad for Gable and Jordan to win. But
I think everyone wanted them to win.
Yes, I love that the NXT crowd now chants Gable's name to Angle's music.
Yeah.
That is awesome. But that was another great tag match, showing what Gable and Jordan can do on a longer show with more time.
And I remembered what Gable and Jordan's tag team finisher was called. It's called the Grand Amplitude.
Yes, thank you. Yes, the Grand Amplitude. But
I know we couldn't remember that last week.
Yeah. And there were a lot of near falls in this match where it was so close, like guys coming in and breaking up the pin at the last second. And yeah, man, that was a brawl. That was a crazy matchup.
Yeah.
And then next up, I think it was Asuka taking on Dana Brooke.
Yeah.
So obviously, this was Asuka's debut match. They're bringing her into storylines. And wow, I have never seen any of her stuff in Japan. I've only seen little clips here and there. I've never watched any of her full matches in Japan. but I was amazed by Asuka. I mean, her transitions into submissions were so quick and fluid and smooth. I was like, I was marking out, man, for every move she was doing. And her kicks sounded like they were pretty stiff. Man, that was a good day.
They said that she was one of the stiffest female wrestlers to work with. So I think we went over that last week, and we were wondering how Dana was going to be able to handle that going into the match.
Yeah, but she did pretty good. I know a lot of fans hate on Dana Brooke, saying that she can't work or blah, 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 blah. But I think she's doing a great job for the role they have her in. I mean, she's like the female Lex Luger in the 90s. She has like this narcissist character. She's like the bodybuilder. So obviously, I'm not expecting to see a bunch of chain wrestling from her. I'm expecting to see power moves, a lot of taunting, and that's what she's doing. And she did a great job in there with Asuka. And
I agree.
Took all those moves so well. And then I don't know if
I feel like
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I feel like every time Dana Brooke steps in the ring, she is improving. And that was something I was worried about when I first saw her make her debut a few months ago. I was really worried that she wouldn't be able to, hang in there with some of the upper class wrestlers. And judging by that match with Asuka, she actually did pretty well.
Yeah. I was very happy with her performance. And man, if those same guys on Twitter that complain that Dana can't work and Nikki Bella can't work, you're getting worked. Because those ladies can work.
They're filling their characters perfectly, in my opinion.
Yeah. And so, of course, Asuka picks up the win. And it's going to be interesting to see how they continue to further the NXT women's division with Asuka and a couple other girls that they're bringing in there. Did you see the backstage segment that they posted on YouTube where Dana Brooke was getting attended to by a trainer and Emma was in there? And
yes, I did see that.
Yeah, she's like, I beat Asuka, right? Emma's like,
no.
That was hilarious too.
She's like, how fast did I beat her?
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm sure we'll see maybe Emma versus Asuka tomorrow night on NXT, or sometime down the future we might see that matchup. And then they had Tyler Breeze versus Apollo Crews, which was another great match for Breeze to show what he's made of. A few people kind of knock Breeze because he's not quote unquote an indie guy, and he came up in the WWE system, so he's not as good as guys like Finn Balor or Joe or Zayn that are the travel men wrestlers. But this was another standout match for Breeze. A great match for Crews. A lot of his matches so far have been pretty short. It's one a little bit longer. We got to see him sell. Selling was pretty good. Breeze worked his back. Irish whipped him into the ring apron on the outside and worked his back the whole match. So Crews had a hard time doing a lot of his power moves because Breeze was working the back. But man, Crews is so quick for a guy his size, man.
Yeah, because he's a really built wrestler, but for him to get as high of a vertical as he does on his drop kicks and that leaping lariat that he does,
oh yeah,
incredible.
And just the height and the quickness of his insecurities.
Yep.
Yeah, this was and there are a lot of great counters in this match. I love that Breeze countered the press slam moonsault with the knees. Well, there was another counter I was just thinking about, but I can't remember right now. But we saw a new finish for Crews, almost like a spin out Blue Thunder type looking powerbomb thing, which is kind of good. I think that's kind of good for him to have as that kind of last resort. All right, if I can't hit the press slam salt on you, then I'm going to have to really power you and pick you up and just bomb you.
Yep. And there's a psychology to a man that big doing a standing moonsault onto you.
Yeah.
That's like taking Vader's moonsault from ground level.
Yeah. And I'm sure a lot of the old school veterans are probably would be more happy with Cruz doing a powerbomb for his finish instead of the outstanding moonsault. But either way, I mean, for his athleticism, I think it works. I think both moves work for him, depending on who he's wrestling. Um, I'm fine with the press moonsault, and I'm fine with the Blue Thunder spinning powerbomb type thing he did that he finished Breeze off with. So, I was expecting. I think everybody was expecting Cruz to win. I feel kind of bad for Breeze, man. He's not catching a break on these takeovers.
I know. I mean, I'm all aboard Team Breeze push.
Yeah.
Like, let's get this guy going somewhere. He's been in NXT for like 4 freaking years now.
Well, it's going to be hard for him because on all the house show loops, they run him versus Balor all the time. And him versus Balor is nothing new. So he might have to wait a while until they get another face champion, or if somehow they find a way to turn him face and there's a heel champion to get him to get him on the NXT title picture. Because obviously right now he just lost. Go ahead.
The way it's looking to set up is I don't think they're going to make Joe turn heel to take the title from Balor.
Yeah.
If that's the way they're going to play it.
Yeah, I don't think that's what I thought was going to happen. Which that kind of leads into the finals of the Tag Classic. It was Finn and Joe against Rhino and Corbin, the two kind of like mega teams going head to head. And I thought for sure they were setting us up for a Joe heel turn. And that would set up the title match for the next takeover.
See, a Joe heel turn would have worked had they let Gable and Jordan win the match against Rhino and Corbin.
Yeah. Well, once Rhino and Corbin advanced, I was like, well, Joe and Finn has to win. There's no way that they're gonna have this big ceremony after the match with Dustin and Cody and the whole Rhodes family with two heels in there. So once Corbin and Rhino win, I knew that they were going to give it to Finn and Joe, and that they were going to do something different there. So Finn sells the leg the whole match, and pretty much Joe does most of the work here with Finn's leg hurt. This was another great brawling type of matchup. Another solid tag match. Finn and Joe pick up the win with the Muscle Buster coup de grace combo. Finn putting the leg at risk to pick up the win, and they get the huge, humongous Dusty Rhodes Tag Classic Tournament. And the
trophy, that thing was big.
Was massive, yeah. And then we got the speech from Cody. And I was talking to LaBoy this weekend about Cody Rhodes and Stardust, and I was saying, don't you think it would have been a good idea to give the split personality gimmick to Stardust and Cody Rhodes instead of Kane?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that would have been a great dynamic. You have Cody Rhodes come back, and everybody's like, "Oh, where's Stardust?" And then he's like, "Oh, well, what are you talking about? Who's Stardust? What are you? I'm back I'm Cody Rhodes. I'm here to action." And then, he switches to Stardust and has a split personality kind of thing. And I think that would work with the whole fans chanting Cody. But instead, we are forced to watch Kane. Like I said last week, Kane is doing a great job at pulling off the gimmick, but it's 2015, and Kane should not be on my TV in the main event for the WWE title.
See, I beg to differ, though, because he's been such a solid worker for the last 10, 20 years now. It's like he's really put in the effort, and they give him one title run for one day.
Well, he did have the world title run on SmackDown where he won the Money in the Bank, and he cashed in on Mysterio like the same night or the next night, whatever it was. But don't get me wrong, Kane, he's a good worker. Don't get me wrong. And he's phenomenal in any position they put him in, and that's why he's been there for so long. But when you have probably the most talented in-ring roster that you've had in a long time, and those guys are not in the main event picture, and Kane's there, come on.
I see what you're saying, but I feel like we're nearing very soon the end of Kane's career, and I feel like creative has nothing to show for it. They gave him this amazing character and gave him 1, 2, and 1.5 title runs. We'll say 1.5.
Yeah.
So I feel like they owe it to him for all that he's done. Like, just as a business standpoint, they owe him this title.
Well, from a business standpoint, ratings are going to be going down the longer they have Kane in the main event spot. So hopefully I'm hoping this Hell in a Cell the match at Hell in a Cell is a one-off, just filler thing until they figure out what they're doing. Give Kane a little his title match or whatever, and then sit back down. And let's get some of the young fresh guys up in there. But all right, we're getting sidetracked off of NXT. So after this was the historic main event, the 30-minute Iron Man, Sasha Banks versus Bayley. Oh man, so much build up for this match. The promo package was awesome, showing the highlights from Brooklyn. Man, this match. I wish they would have gave him an hour to go.
They did it again, though. Like, we thought Brooklyn was amazing.
Yeah, this match was great. Sasha was vicious. She's learning to hit that switch and just go heel mode, grabbing the bow out of Izzy's hair and taunting with it. Oh man, and Izzy crying. A part of me, I'm wondering if that's a work, because since her family's, they've been showing her family and stuff on TV and the network. I wonder if they let her in on it, or I wonder if the parents knew. Maybe she didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
The dad didn't really seem all that concerned, patting her.
Like, seeing that made me legitimately not like Sasha in the match, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is perfect."
Yes, that when that happened, you're like, "Man, that's not right, man. You don't do that." And you wanted to boo Sasha there for a minute, and I mean, just the selling throughout the match was great.
And then a couple days later, I'm watching Raw chanting, "We want Sasha" with the rest of the crowd.
Yes. And
back to the match.
I think going into this, we knew that Sasha wasn't going to win, but there was still always that chance. A lot of close near falls here. I loved talking about Sasha being heel. She got the first pinfall with the eye rake.
The eye rake, yeah.
That was a classic heel pickup win there. I love that Sasha, she got ahead going into the match. She kind of was ahead of Bayley for the most part in the points, and Bayley was always playing catch up. So you always have the fans kind of rallying behind Bayley, the whole underdog thing, rallying behind as she continued to catch up in points. Man,
that vicious count out. When Sasha just slung Bayley right into the screen.
Yes.
That was a hard hit.
Yeah.
Like, there's no getting around how hard she hit that.
Yeah, and then the bump where Sasha swung Bayley into the steps. That was another nice looking bump there. Trying to think what else. Trying to remember now some of the other good spots of that match. They went for this a tease of the same finish from Brooklyn. Bayley was going for those super reverse Frankensteiner, and Sasha was able to roll out of it. I thought.
Yeah, she landed on her feet.
I thought that was a nice spot right there. People think that was going to happen. Yep. Sasha rolls out, and I think she hit her with did she put her in the bank statement after that? Or did she just hit her with double knees?
I think it was a bank statement.
Yeah, I think she put her in the bank statement after that.
Mm-hmm.
And then just that, I thought they were going to go into overtime, man. There was 2-2 winding down, and then we saw kind of a reversal. And Brooklyn, Sasha was working Bayley's arm. And then this match, Bayley was working Sasha's arm using the same tactics that Sasha did, slamming her arm on the steps, which led up to the eventual finish where Bayley got her in that arm bar like submission and torqued the wrist back.
and started kicking her in the back of the head.
Yeah, and Sasha had no choice but to tap when there was like 3 seconds left.
That
So
was like the ultimate buzzer beater right there.
yeah, that was amazing. I thought they were going to go overtime, and then Bailey went in the overtime, but that was a great way, um, especially with Sasha being the heel. Heels are
Yep.
supposed to be cowards and want to back out the fight, knowing that she could have held on for a couple more seconds, but just didn't want to deal with it anymore. So I was fine with that finish.
Yeah, I was happy with it. I wouldn't be mad if there was overtime.
Yeah, that would have been a cool little thing, kind of tribute to Sean and Brett.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, it was great. And then we had the whole NXT roster come out. They gave them both flowers. How do you feel about the Divas kind of crying and kind of breaking kayfabe after these big matches?
Uh, with these four in particular, it's different.
Yeah.
Because they kind of let you know beforehand that these are the four girls that came into NXT and started changing everything together. And then for them to just kind of pretend like that's not a thing, it wouldn't make sense. So for them crying, I kind of I can go with it.
Yeah.
Because they let us into that part of their life.
Yeah. And I think for them, yeah, it's okay. I would like to see them stick a little bit more. I know kayfabe's, pretty much dead, but I think it would be kind of cool to stick to kayfabe a little bit and not see, an intense rivalry always end with both people, celebrating with each other.
Well, they didn't celebrate with each other this time, did they? I know Triple H went down to the ring with Bayley and Sasha stayed with the roster.
Well, I don't think they celebrated together this time, but
there was a post-match interview with them.
Yeah, and Triple H always takes the pictures with them together.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
but I feel like when Bayley makes it to the main roster, they're gonna have like the less emotional connection because everyone's picking sides now.
Yeah,
and it'll be more competitive.
Well, I was tweeting with somebody last night during Raw about Sasha because I was telling they were chanting "We want Sasha" during the Naomi versus Nikki Bella match last night, and guy was tweeting with me. He was saying, it'd be kind of cool if they did like an organic babyface build for Sasha, like they did for Daniel Bryan, which I think would be great to have her. It could work and have her be a top babyface going into WrestleMania 32. Keep building this up. Have the "We Want Sasha" chants every week, and then start to have Naomi and Tamina start to get jealous of her. You have them turn on her and have Sasha turn babyface, and just have the crowd just be fully behind Sasha, getting into title match at WrestleMania 32.
All right, so you guys heard it first here on Social Suplex. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, because we all know my Triple H has my house tapped.
And he does. I'm convinced.
And Social Suplex Rich, what's up, Rich? He was on LOP radio with the doc, and he was talking about his fantasy WrestleMania card. And he was saying he would like to book Sasha and Charlotte for the Divas title match at WrestleMania 32, which I think would be great. And I wouldn't be surprised if you have Sasha as the face going in that match and Charlotte as the heel going into that match.
I could see that. I could see that working. But can we rewind just a tiny bit to the "We Want Sasha" chants?
Yes.
When Brie Bella jumped on the mic, I love how Sasha dealt with that.
Yes, just
pulling her legs out.
I have a GIF of that on Twitter. Retweeted that too. Sasha actually posted that when I retweeted. That was hilarious.
That was awesome.
Yeah, I was glad she did that because Brie sounded like the chocolate chalkboard screeching. That her
she
voice
sounded
was
like the cat lit on fire, put in a trash can, and rolled down a hill.
Yeah, her voice was just so irritating.
I thought you said entertaining.
No,
I was like,
irritating. No, not entertaining. So it's going to be interesting to see how they continue to handle Sasha on the main roster. I think the faster we can get these stables broken up, the better the
I agree.
Divas Revolution will be. Make the main focus the Divas title, not making it like high school clicky mean girl thing. We all in cliques and we all just hate each other. When really they should be focusing on getting the Divas title. There's no reason why you can't have one feud for the Divas title and then another feud being for the number one contender spot all the time, and just keep interchanging those Divas. Yes, not everybody's going to get on pay-per-view. Not everybody's going to be on Raw and SmackDown. You just got to kind of rotate it out. While they have people sitting on the burner, they can use main event and superstars to kind of keep people fresh.
Are those still things? Is main event and superstars still a thing?
Yes, superstars is on the network.
Okay.
On Fridays, I believe. Main event is shown internationally first, and then the replays are on the network.
Okay.
Yeah, so they do those tapings before Raw and SmackDown. So they still have those shows that they can keep people on while you have certain people in the title match, maybe certain people fighting for the contendership.
Yep.
So that's what they should do there in the for the Divas title situation.
I agree. Let's just get rid of these team things because the team thing is irritating right now.
Yeah.
And Alicia Fox, what? I don't understand Alicia Fox in Team Bella.
I mean, where else do you stick her?
I don't know. Is she even relevant?
I mean, I think she's relevant because of Total Divas. I mean, I think she's a decent worker. I think she's had some good matches.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and they want to have her in this Divas Revolution storyline. So the Bellas are Total Divas. She's Total Divas. So
yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't get it.
Yeah, yeah. Enough about main roster. Let's go back to NXT. Let's talk about talking about NXT. So we got a new episode of NXT tomorrow night. There's going to be a battle royal to determine the number one contender. Backstage at Respect, Joe was trying to get a title match from Finn. Regal's like, no, everybody deserves a shot. There's going to be a title. There's going to be a battle royal. So I'm assuming Joe will be in the battle royal and a couple other people, obviously. So
I'm assuming Joe's going to win.
Yes, that's the favorite right now, but they could do something to maybe Joe gets screwed over, but detracts Joe from Finn for another takeover, and then some maybe new up-and-coming heel or somebody gets the win.
Or maybe Tyler Breeze.
Maybe. Maybe. We'll see what happens there. And then the tag title picture, they gotta bring back focus on that. We've seen a lot of tag teams step up. It's gonna be interesting to see. I feel like Dawson and Wilder are probably gonna get the first title shot since they beat the Vaudevillains in the Dusty Tag Classic.
That would make sense.
Yeah, so I think that would be a nice feud and a great match for the next takeover, which is going to be in the UK in December. So that'll be a nice little program they have there. And then also they got to set up the next challenger for Bayley. Because Sasha's officially now on the main roster. She's not going to be back at NXT for any time soon.
Anyone but Eva Marie.
Yeah. Luckily, she's not going to be on NXT for the next 3 weeks because she missed the tapings for Total Divas taping. So no, all read everything for at least the next 3 weeks. And over the weekend on NXT house show at Winter Park, independent wrestler Athena made her debut on the house show. So that's another new women's wrestler they got on deck to keep that women division stacked up. So it's gonna be interesting to see where they go next. I mean, you have Bayley, Asuka, Emma, Dana, Alexa Bliss could be another heel challenger for Bayley.
Now, do you think they're gonna pull her off of Blake and Murphy anytime soon?
No, they'll probably keep her with Blake and Murphy, but she'll still probably have a few like one-on-one matches. And also, Nia Jax.
Right, she's supposed to be making a debut soon.
Yeah, she debuts tomorrow on NXT.
Oh.
So that's another heel that they can build, a monster heel they can build for Bayley. And I can picture their matches almost like Awesome Kong and Gail Kim's matches
Yeah.
in TNA. And so I think that'll be a great feud with Bayley and Nia Jax, who is The Rock's cousin. We saw her in action at NXT house
We did.
show.
We saw her at the Tampa show.
Yeah, she was in a tag match. So I'd like to see you more what she can do in one-on-one, and we'll see that the next couple of weeks here on NXT. So yeah, man, NXT, man, is booming. A lot of developments, so many directions that can go in each division. It's going to be interesting to see where these next set of tapings take us.
So you said this was the lowest viewership on an episode of Raw, correct?
Yeah.
How does that stack
17
against
years.
NXT?
Well, the thing is, NXT's on the network, so
it still hits over 1 million people.
Yeah, but the metrics are different. So NXT doesn't really have the pressure of. I'm sure there's some kind of goal that they have, that they want a certain amount of people watching NXT each week, whether it's live or replays. But there's no pressure like there is on Raw to try and hit higher ratings when they have these advertisers that they have to please on USA Network and get a higher ad revenue, because the TV deals is it's a big part of their revenue. So low TV ratings are not good for their advertisers. So, and it's going to be interesting to see what they're going to try and do to get those ratings back up.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Leave Triple H in charge?
Yes. Oh, Sami Zayn.
Yes.
He is going to be making a guest appearance on Evolve.
On what?
On Evolve Wrestling.
Okay.
Because Triple H, he's said that, yes, he's starting to have a working relationship with Evolve and Gabe Sapolsky. And Triple H says he supports the undercurrent independent promotions. And he's proving that by sending Sami Zayn to Evolve 49 and 50, I believe, in New York. Zayn will not be wrestling. He's still not 100% cleared, but he will be making an appearance for the live crowd. I don't think you can see, if you order the pay-per-view, I don't think you'll be able to see him. But for the live crowd, Zayn will be there. So
awesome.
That opens up even more possibilities to what they can do with Evolve and NXT. I mean, we can see more NXT guys actually wrestle on Evolve. Maybe we'll see more Evolve guys show up on NXT. Maybe you do some kind of invasion angle. Maybe for a takeover, you have Evolve champion versus NXT champion. Maybe they do a big Evolve versus NXT Super Show. I mean, there's so many possibilities that they can do with this.
Yeah. I mean, Triple H is doing an incredible thing, and kudos to him, because NXT is my favorite show to watch on anything. And I'm glad to see that he's working with the independent promotions, because they are the lifeblood of what WWE will be.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at the top guys right now that are having the best matches, majority of them came from Ring of Honor and the independents. I mean, Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, Cesaro,
Neville,
Daniel Bryan, Balor, all these guys have that independent traveling background. So it's great that Triple H realizes that, and he's doing what he can to help keep independent wrestling going. So, all right, anything else before we wrap this up?
That about does it for me.
All right, guys. Thank you for viewing. Keep checking out socialsuplex.com. New columns coming up. I'm sure
One Nation Radio.
Yep, there's going to be a new episode of One Nation Radio. More Social Suplex Live, so keep it coming. October 19th is the 1-year birthday for Social Suplex, so we're gonna do something. We're sending out a special little message for that, so be on the lookout for that. And thank you for watching another episode of Social Suplex.